to talk about Undisputed 4, or Boyka Undisputed as it's now known. This is a new release from director Isaac Florentine, though this time he's just a producer. I'm not sure who the director is. It's an Eastern European chap. I don't know if the relationship between him and Isaac Florentine is the same as, say, Michael Bay with the chap who directed the Turtles films, because this film is very much like the others in styles of direction, which is good because we like that. However, this sees Boyka, who in the last film, Redemption, had got his freedom and a bag full of money. He's back fighting MMA. There's a bit Sony-ing about how his knee's been fixed because in the previous film he had knee problems. And he's still fighting on the underground circuit because technically he's not been released from prison. He was just let go. This film's really good, fun. It's like 75 minutes long, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. It starts with 2 fights straight off. Scott Adkins is great as Boyka. He does all his flipping, kicking, and his Yuri Boyka voice. And he looks great. All the fight scenes throughout the whole film are filmed really, really well, particularly when you've just come off watching something like Iron Fist, where it's all choppy, not, trying to hide the edits, as it were. Whereas in Undisputed, the direction style and the choreography is all there to be seen. You've got nice big rings that they fight in. The camera is in the ring, and it's either over the shoulder and pulled back, so you can then see the whole fight, but there's no big edits in it. And you know all the people who are performing the moves. Whilst they're all stuntmen, they're very well skilled, and it's a sort of realistic fantasy style of fighting. By that, what I mean is, you know the people can perform it because they do perform it, and I've seen training videos on YouTube and that where they've been practicing for these films. And Scott Adkins is an accomplished martial artist in that respect, as well as all the people he acts with. But they can still do these amazing flips, tricks and kicks. So in the back of your mind you sort of think, well, if you had X amount of years training you could achieve it, rather than it being developed through wire work and other sort of methods. Come here. The main plot line is that Boyka's got a chance at the big time for legitimacy in a week, and he's got to end up in a city to fight and put himself on show. But in the meantime, in his last fight, he accidentally kills a man. And he doesn't accidentally kill him. The chap just gets knocked out and dies from his injuries. There's nothing sinister about the way he dies. Boyka feels guilty, goes to find the wife to apologise, and then gets mixed up in having to complete a series of fights for a Russian gangster who is sort of holding a prisoner over debts that she's got. And that's where the story goes, and it follows a pretty standard route from there on. He fights X amount of fights. There's a great big guy who's all roided up that he has to fight at the end. That's probably the worst fight, only because the guy who he has to fight isn't really a martial artist. He's just a huge bodybuilder and can't really do much. He's more like a giant punching bag for Boyka. And I don't think there's any spoiling of the ending. Boyka ends up having to kill someone and go back to his old ways, and as a result he gets arrested and put back in prison. And then what's nice is that throughout the story he ends up back in prison at the end, and it's his right place to be. He's not meant to be a legitimate fighter. He's meant to be the greatest martial artist fighter in the world, but he's meant to be fighting like an animal in a prison for that type of crowd, and that's how it ends. And the story sort of knows that that's how the character should end up. He's not meant to have a life as a legitimate sort of UFC champion. And it's a great film. I've really enjoyed it, really good fun. It's clearly all shot in Eastern Europe, which is good because that's where it's set. And all the places that they go to, the gyms, the setups, I know it's all fantasy, but you sort of, as an ignorant Westerner, you sort of feel that that is what we all think it is like over there if you ended up mixed up in illegal fighting and background deals. And I know that's silly to say, but that is sort of the general conservative view of what it's like over there, and they play up to that as well. They know they're doing it in the film, and it makes for great entertainment. It's a shame that more films like this don't have a bigger release or more legitimacy, because they're just exciting, fun, throwaway sort of classic B movies. I see that the one film Ninja that they've done is on film 4 on rotation, so that's nice to see. Whether or not any other ones get put out there, I don't know. So yeah, definitely worth watching Undisputed 4, Boyka, Undisputed, depending on how it's released.